Hello everybody and welcome to the UAE, a nation consisting of 7 emirates, originally coming together in 1971. In 2009, oil revenue accounted for 85% of the region's economy. Now it's less than 25%, tourism and business having taken over as the main source of the GDP. Dubai welcomes 10 million visitors a year, including those visiting the FIA-sanctioned Hankook 24H of Dubai.
Actually, this feels like coming home because this is the place where it all began. It's the 14th time that we have the 24 hours of Dubai.
Behind me you can see the start grid of the TCE division. We have about 20 cars who are all ready, they all qualified, and except for one car which unfortunately needed to retire before the start, they're all ready to go.
On the start grid of the GT division, we have a lot of cars. In total, we have 55 cars from the A6 Pro class till the GT4 class. I think we will have battles in every class.
We're looking forward to an exciting event and wish good luck to all the participants.
The 14th running of the Hankook 24H of Dubai sees the return of many familiar faces, even if their team names have changed a little. The drivers of the last couple of years have competed as pro sport.
CP Racing now, yes. We made a few changes. We've been managing our team for the last couple of years anyway, really, as far as all of our race strategies and preparation go. We just made a slight change in our logistics setup and a name change to go with it. And a lot of the same guys.
Another driver returning to the event is Tom Bonen, the former cycling champion from Belgium.
It's my 4th Creventic now. First one was in Barcelona and then Kota. And last year I only did Dubai. Now it was, my family arrived this night, so we have one more week of holiday here. And I think it's perfect setting on the calendar in January. Last race was in November, so everybody's eager to race. And you can combine it with a little holiday in the middle of winter in Europe, so perfect.
Not just perfect for European drivers, great to see more of the region's drivers getting involved.
It's coming slowly but surely. We're seeing more teams from the region based over here, more drivers. So it's good to see that because it's a race here in Dubai, so it's important to have local teams.
Qualifying was held on Thursday. Fastest in that session, the number 63 GRT Grasser Lamborghini.
Back on pole, same as last year, which is really good. Pleases me a lot. We did a good job. It's always tough to get a pole position. We did everything right. I had a really good lap, a clean lap without traffic, and and we set the fastest lap time. So that gives us the chance to start from the top spot, which is always nice. But it's a long race.
2 races on the track at the same time, and as well as the GT division, the TCE. So a second overall pole, that went to CWS Ginetta.
It was good. We've got a good quick lap time in, starting on the front now, so we've got a good position for the race.
Within the GT and TCE races, there are a variety of classes. Each of those has their own pole sitter. So next to the number 378 Ginetta, another pole sitter.
Yeah, on TCE. So, yeah, but Ginetta is not the same car than this. So, my target was pole position in TCR, and we did it again like last year, so we are really happy. But again, it's 24 hours, so pole position doesn't mean many things, but for the team, for the people who are working mechanics, it's always, and for me also, it's always enjoyable to start on pole.
Sharing the front row in the GT division, the number 88 car collection Audi.
First of all, I'm actually pretty happy about the result. I mean, starting from the front row in such a competition field is quite nice. But I also have to thank my team, Car Collection Motorsport, also my teammates, because we all work together to have a great car in the qualifying and also to get a good car for race distance. So we put some really hard effort in it, and it's great when it pays off at the end.
As we're about to get the race started, let's find out what the teams expect of the race.
I hope we can finish the race without breaking anything, because in Zolder we had some bad luck and broke the gearbox. So if we can finish without having to need to do huge repairs, I will be very happy.
This is my first endurance race, so the first 24-hour race, so for sure I have to change my driving style a bit, because I'm normally always driving sprint races. So I really have to change a bit and maybe to not hit the curbs that hard that I normally do, because the cars have to stay for 24 hours. So that's a thing that I have to do now, and to change my driving style and also be prepared. And now we also have 5 drivers to share the car with, so that 4 drivers except me. So that's going to be really nice to try to have the team spirit, and all to have we fight for the same goal, and hopefully the victory as well.
I think here the Code 60 zones are the biggest. We cannot plan it before. You don't know. Last year I think 42 Code 60 zones. That's the problem here.
I think the biggest question is the traffic. I think for all the drivers here, it's a lot of cars, and I think everybody says it's a lot of traffic. So I think that's the main thing, is to manage the traffic really.
The pace car has left the track, and it's now up to Mirko Bortolotti in the 63 Lamborghini Huracan GT3 to lead the field to the start of this first race of the year, the Hankook 24 Hours of Dubai. The lights are off, the Dubai flag is waved, and the field rushes towards the first corner. The GT field is battling with 3 cars side by side, but all reach and get through the first corner safely. Meanwhile, the touring cars in the background also starting their race. Leading the TCE race, the pole-sitting 378 Ginetta G55, followed by the AC Motorsport Audi.
The start, usually in a 24-hour race, you have to keep a very, very, very cool mind, because otherwise you do very many stupid things, and the tendency is always to use too much the car in the first 4 or 5 laps. And you don't need to do that, because the race is so long that you have to start in a very clever way.
The TCE series proving that their pace can't be underestimated. The lead cars in that field already overtaking the back of the GT class.
What was lovely was the fact that we had all the GT4 cars in front of me, and a load of other cars, and I was able to go past them all gradually. And I think when I come in, I was 1 position away from being in front of all the GT4 cars as well. So we're first in TCE, first in SP3, and we're in second in the GT4. So it was moving quite well.
The first pit caller in the race is the number 246 KTM Crossbow of Ryder Engineering. American driver Nikolai Elganayan brings the car back to the pit crew. Takes them just a little while to see and then act on the fire in the back of the car. The car will need some extensive repairs.
Unfortunately, we have some kind of oil pressure loss, and we're trying our best right now to get everything sorted so that the drivers can go out again. It's the worst thing that could have happened, obviously, at the first part of the race, but like I said, we're trying our best to get everything done that they can go out again.
The MRS GT Porsche overtakes the NKPP team car for position in the Porsche 991 class, but then finds itself right in the way of the number 10 Hoffa Mercedes.
We were overtaking 2 Porsches, and we just dived into the first corner just really normally, and just halfway in the corner I got hit by one of the Cup Porsches, who braked too late. And it couldn't avoid me and hit me, and we spun. Luckily, it was only the rear bumper that got hit.
Another car that couldn't stay on the racing line was the number 968 Avintic and Spuntic. Stepan Krumilov and his Porsche got back to the pits. Stepan was okay, but the car couldn't be repaired, and is the first official retirement of the race. The 24-hour series powered by Hankook, of course, has its regulars. Last season, though, there was a team missing that up to that point had more or less been a series fixture. Happily, they've returned to race again here in Dubai.
We were here last year in Dubai, and we decided to just take some time to reassess what we wanted to be doing with our racing. But you know, this is our home race, so it's not one we can miss. It's our 10th year in a row we're here, so it's one we have to be at. We feel we have to represent being in Dubai, from Dubai kind of thing, so yeah.
Christopher Zirkling is leading the 991 Porsche class, but he's slow on track and loses that first position.
My partner came in, we were on P1, unfortunately had a rifle problem, a tire problem the first corner, so we fell back to 64, and I was able to go back to 34 overall. We're looking for the 911 class, 991. And there we are in position 5 right now. We were leading, but you know, that's how it goes.
Battling for second position overall, Ricardo Feller and Jelmer Berman. The orange BWT Audi R8 claims the position and pushes the Mercedes from Black Falcon down to 3rd place. But the pressure doesn't end. Rolf Nation now wants to claim that third position.
To battle with guys like this, it's very nice. You know what he is doing, he knows what I'm doing, and then you can give you hard fights each other without touching. This is very nice.
So in just a couple of corners, second, third and fourth position have changed hands. A code 60 to retrieve the BMW number 450. A great advantage for the number 188 Audi.
We were out of the fuel for 19. We came in the pits and the code 60 appeared just afterwards, so we can put the normal fuel level in the car. So that is quite an advantage, but some luck. Sometimes you need luck. And this time it was luck for us. But next time we will see.
As the clock ticks towards 6 p.m, Nicholas Nobbs finds himself facing the wrong direction. The Vortex V8 number 301 needs recovery. That means another code 60. A perfect opportunity for us to take a look at the standings after 3 hours. The top three all have a lap between them who are in code 60, and indeed the top three are all in the pits. But here's how they stand, with the 88 car collection Audi leading, the number 63 GRT Grasser Lamborghini second, and the number 9 BWT Audi in third. It's a similar position in the classes. The gaps will close up as soon as we go back to green. So in SPX, the MRX 990 Porsche leads, 758 VDS Mark II V8 in second, and the 778 Speed Lover Porsche is third. And in GT4, the Dragon Racing Mercedes number 488 has taken over the lead from the number 405 ERC Sport Team. Third in class, the number 430 BWM from Century Motorsport. This is endurance.
Well, it's teamwork, it's long races, so that means that it's not going to be won on the first corner, on the first hour of the race. That means that it's not just the driver, it's the driver, the car, the crew, the strategy. It's a lot of factors that play a role, and everything needs to be on a very good level or on the top of your game in order to be successful.
Creventic organised endurance series are created from the viewpoint that racing should be enjoyable for everyone, especially the non-pro or gentleman drivers. This philosophy makes these events stand out from other series.
Daytona 24, I've done that 19 times before, and your race strategy is a little bit different there because you're really trying to play the full course yellow. When all the fields come back together, there's different classes that get wave bys. But here in this series with the code 60, you really have to think about it differently, and the strategy's different. And also, I really do like the fact that there's no fueling in the garages here. They're all done down in one area. Two things. It's one, it's a lot safer for all the teams, and it adds a little bit of different element to the guys having to pay attention to how many are in the queue, what's taking place. So I enjoy this because it's a whole different strategy to it.
Owing to the amount of cars that have entered, multiple teams share the same pit box.
We shared our garage with Vortex Racing, so it's been nice to see some different faces. Normally in other series you stand by yourself, but this also brings another chemistry between drivers in the racetrack. So obviously you don't want to take out the guy in the same box as you, and you end up with a big fight inside the team, so you don't want to have that. So there's a lot of, I feel there's a more respect between drivers in this championship than there is in most other places.
The Rider Engineering crossbow is still being worked on. It stopped after just over an hour and a half of racing.
So yeah, they're trying to get the engine out now and get a new one in and try to get the guys back out, and our guys are quite well known for getting these things done quickly, so we're pushing them full motivation and we're going to be back out there.
Meanwhile, in pit 5C, Giacomo Altoe is nibbling snacks before his next stint.
Yeah, we have to be ready physically with drink and food. We have to be ready as always because the strategy is flexible, so in every time we have to be ready to enter in the car.
Darkness slowly engulfs the Dubai Autodrome and temperatures are falling too, creating a very different racing environment.
The tracks rub it in quite nicely. It's very windy, so it is dusty, but we know the track well, so we've got the lights, we know where our braking points are, we know where the apexes are, so we do slow down a little bit. I mean, I do personally. I lose about a second and a half from daylight to nighttime. I'll try and fix that in the next stint.
On one of the darker parts of the track, the number 19 Mercedes and the number 378 Ginetta come together.
We had a very good run. We were in our third stint. All three stints were excellent. And then unfortunately we got hit by another competitor and our car got sent into the wall. And it was a lot of damage.
But the other team convinced that they were hit.
Oliver says that you come into the corner and the car come up the inside of him and hit him. And they put him into the wall. But he's okay. He's been back for a shower and he's okay. The other driver, I think, has gone off to hospital, so let's hope he's all okay. So we're able to repair the car and get going again.
The number 19 is not repairable.
We have great Mercedes support, but also they cannot help us at the moment. It's really destroyed. So basically we're packing up and we ship it back to our workshop and I hope we can race again anytime soon.
After the result in Code 60, racing recommences. Still, minor mishaps do happen.
I have a little bit bump with another car. He had new tires and I was faster and they didn't see me. And then I bumped him in the car. They take a turn around and I drive away.
This is hardly ever a cause for any animosity.
It was Alex Prinz from Hofer. We are friends all, and then for a few minutes I go to him and we talked about that he had me not seen, and the tires from him was cold.
For most of the drivers, racing here is very enjoyable. That doesn't mean it's easy.
It was great. I mean, a bit of a hard start. To get the rears to light up is quite hard, especially with all the Code 60s going on. So it was quite hard to keep that, and then we got a good run. So just now, you sit there for 2 or 3 laps, tyres go cold, and it's very, very slippery out there. So you just got to be a bit careful. But no, great. Really enjoyed that. It was good fun. Good fun.
8 o'clock in the evening, the traditional time for the 24-hour series fireworks. No exception for 2019's season opener. Spectators make sure they have a good view. Drivers keeping their eyes on the track. Every single running of the Hankook 24 Hours of Dubai has been won by a German brand. Currently second overall is the Ferrari. Can they break that German dominance?
Actually, as I see how the Audi quick is, we will have very difficult work to win. But yeah, it would be nice if we can gain the number 1. But actually now we have before us the more difficult part of the race, and this is the night. Because many drivers, as you can see, they drive sometimes a little bit dangerous, so we need to alive the night, and then we will see.
Problems for the Core Oyster number 717. The car has managed to limp away from the dangerous last corner, but needed to be pushed off the track. We're at the 6-hour point. Let's have a look at the standings. This rundown with the TCE race. The overall leader there in the hands of the AC Motorsport in the number 188 Audi RS3 TCR. 1 lap back, the similar car of the 129 LMS Racing Team. And third, KCMG with their Honda Civic number 122. Beyond the TCR cars, the Vortex V8 number 301 is leading the SP3 class by 10 laps. The earlier race leader, the number 378 CWS Ginetta, has been in the pits for an hour already. In A3, the GR Motorsport BMW number 603 leads by 88 seconds over the number 634 of Lotus PB Racing, and their number 633 car is in third. Abdullah Mohammed Al Maina created the UAE flag in 1971, red and white for the flags of the separate Emirates, black for the oil and green for fertility. That flag waves proudly over the Dubai Autodrome, a track that is loved by the drivers who have come here.
Actually, it's not an easy one. The layout is, it looks, when you watch it on the track map, it looks okay, it looks easy, but actually when you are on track, it's quite difficult. Some of blind spots, especially with the traffic, it's not easy here, everything is so wide.
I very enjoyed it to drive here. The track is very fast, very perfect, a lot of corners, good combinations, yeah, a lot of fun.
Wow, it's really cool because you have high-speed parts and slow-speed parts. I really like the flow of the track. And it's special because obviously the temperature is changing a lot between now and the night.
The track is really interesting, and also it's our first time to here. We learn a lot,
We like this track.
Have some really nice corners where you can fight a lot with the car, and you can have some really high-speed corners. But also because from the driver side you have some really technical corners where you really can show that you are a good driver, and that's really what I want, and I really love to have some challenge.
It's a lot of cars, so the competition is rising every year. It's my 10 times here, so I saw it developing during the years. And so it's bigger and bigger every year, so it's really, really good fun to come here. Yeah.
Back to the race and back to green flag racing. The Code 60 protocol allows marshals to work safely on the track without the need of a safety car intervention. It neutralises the race, but has little or no impact on the outcome of the race. Although tactical decisions, of course, can cause it to shorten your stint.
I drove a short stint, just about 50 minutes, and I had two Code 60 phases. And now the team principal decide to make a change and to fill the car up. And because of Code 60, and I get in. But I'm satisfied. It's a good race.
Lucas Moron took over the wheel of the MSG MRT Porsche, but his stint was short-lived.
Yeah, it was a really, really bad moment. Yeah, my driving sharp has broken, so I didn't have more power, and yeah, that caused a lot of laps for us. And at the end, it's disappointing, of course, but yeah, we learned very much about that, and yeah, it will become better next time.
A few cars with problems. The A3 class leader from GR Motorsport, the number 603, has stopped on track, and they give up their first position. And it's a bad day for class leaders, as the team at the head of the Cup 1 class have their car pushed into the pit garage.
It was a good stint, 1 hour 30, but then we had a little contact with a GT3 car, and now we had a reparation of 10 minutes. Now we are second in the class, and now we have to push.
And guess who took over the A3 class lead? Indeed, the smoking 634 Lotus.
The engine blown up, and the temperature rose high all at a sudden, and I had the smoke in the cockpit, and so I had to stop, and we're trying to figure out what happened, but probably we're gonna change the engine, so it's gonna take a few hours, and it's gonna be really tough from now.
On the back of a flatbed, the GT4 class leader.
Yeah, I didn't realise, but when I got back, the guys were saying that people get in the lead and have an issue, and we were one of those people. There was no warning, really. Felt like initially a puncture, a lot of vibration. As I pulled off to the left of the circuit, I realised that I didn't have any drive, so the car stopped. Waited for recovery. When I got out the car, you could see the wheel was not looking right, it was up in the arch. Got the car back here, and the hub was broken. So we lost 40 minutes getting the car fixed, a new hub put on, and back out.
More drama for another front runner. The TCR class leader and the overall leader of the Touring Car Endurance Series race, the AC Motorsport number 188, has also stopped on the track.
We lose the first position because we had a problem at the refueling. We believe due to the fact we don't put all the liters that we thought, and we go back at the fifth position.
And would you believe it? The LMS Audi, having just taken over the touring car lead, now also in the garage.
We've had issues with the power and consuming too much oil. It's been a little bit difficult. We've had some problems and just need to keep fighting. We don't know yet have overcome them, but let's see. Time will show.
The Speed Lover team left the last 24-hour series race in America with a damaged car, but things are going much better here in Dubai.
Very, very good. So, after Kota we came directly here. We prepared the car, we took some spare parts with the Creventic containers, we prepared the car, and until now everything is running fine.
Like always, just driving and hope to have a clean run, and sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not so funny, but and especially at night it's quite difficult with the fast car and the behavior of some drivers, but yeah, we will see.
Jake Giddings in the Team Dynamics Audi was the new TCE leader, but a crash means their race ends here. Meanwhile, Jack Patel is having issues with the darker parts of the track.
So I only had dip beam, so trying to see around a dark track with dip beam was quite hard, but yeah, we still managed, still set a good pace, and some of it's pretty easy. It's a bit like driving in the day, but you get the odd corner that is literally completely dark. Yeah, an amazing experience.
We're completing the 10th hour of the event, and it's the German car collection team that holds sway at this point of the race.
Yeah, we're back in the lead, and we're fighting hard. Just a matter of keeping the gap now, and we will see where we end up. I think we did a really good job on doing the setup, and we know how to treat the tires well. So that's, I think, our key to be fast in this race.
Let's take a look at the standings. Car Collection Motorsport number 88 Audi R8 has completed 250 laps. That's one more than the Abu Dhabi Racing Black Falcon number 3 in second. Their teammates with an identical AMG GT3, the number 2 Black Falcon, in third. Now those are all A6 Pro cars. There's also the A6 AM class, and here it's the CP Racing number 85 that holds the lead over the number 25 of HTP Motorsport, with the number 34 Car Collection Audi third in that class. And in the Porsche 991 class, the Modena number 916 leads, a lap down in second, the Dual Racing number 950, 2 laps further back, the NKPP Racing number 991. This is endurance.
Endurance is perseverance, it's teamwork, it's lasting strategy, thinking long term. So it's a great team effort. Everybody works together. It's not only the drivers. The mechanics sometimes are even more important. The team is more important. And you have to work together with everyone to reach the goal at the end.
There's a wide variety of drivers here, some very new to racing. One of the youngest, Carlo von Dosselaar.
My father has a couple of friends, and he had his own race team, and my father thought it would be fun for us to join him, and last year we drove the 24 hours of Solder, and this year we are here in Dubai to experience it, and it's really special.
He's competing against drivers who have much more experience.
The GT3 cars, who also drive with us on track, is a unique experience, and the speed difference is special here.
I'm the VLN champion in Germany and the ASEAN champion, and the best BMW private driver of the last year. And so it was a new experience on the track here, but it's a fine track, fine event.
However, most drivers have become regulars, whatever happens.
Yeah, I like the series. It's my 4th time in Dubai. I started in 2016 and 17 I ended up in hospital, but 18 was successful and 19 hopefully too.
For us, it's always a really nice thing to race here in January in Dubai. It became for us a race that needs to be in the schedule, to be honest. It's a really nice race, a nice championship.
It's so unique, so much cars, every corner. Sometimes you see some rounds afterwards on the onboards, you overtake something like 30 cars in one round or something. It's really special, and the competition is quite high, and it makes a lot of fun.
And also fun for the new drivers.
We do the sprint race, not do a lot of endurance. So in China, their only maximum is 12 hours. So this is our first time go out to do the 24 hours, but we are really enjoy it.
It's the first race I have outside Italy, so I'm quite excited, but it's really tough, so 2 hours and more in the cockpit is really difficult.
Yeah, it's completely different to what I'm used to. Yeah, it's an amazing atmosphere. The whole thing is amazing. I just can't wait to do another one.
The 11th hour of the race starts with another Code 60. Swiss driver Nicholas Norbs is in the barrier with the 301 Vortex Scirocco. They were leading the SP3 class with a comfortable margin of 30 laps, but this repair is going to keep them out of the race for at least an hour. Marcus Jewell had to bring the 999 in over half an hour ago, and the team has worked frantically to get the car back in the race. In his stint, Kenneth Heyer needed to pit several times, but at 10 minutes before midnight, it became clear that the race was lost.
So we had really high motor temperatures, water. So the belt was gone on the car. So I come in,
We put the car in the garage and then we repair it. I go out again after I think 2 or 3 laps was a code 60, so everything with the temperature of the water was quite okay under code 60, and when it was green again, we directly have again temperature. We come back again, so the guys check the car a little bit longer, and yeah, I think it is the water pump which is broken, and yeah, it takes something like 2 hours to change it, and yeah, we already lose more or less 30 minutes, and that's why we completely finished the race.
NKPP Racing have a long history in the 24-hour series. We've been used to seeing them in the touring car division, with their Seats and Cupras clocking up many miles on tracks like here in Dubai. Now they're in the GT division, they've met up again with some old colleagues and competitors.
And it's the old battle. It's the Moutran boys against the NKPP. It's like the old times with the Seat. For them it's I think the third race in the Porsche, third year in the Porsche. And for us it's the first race. So we are just a couple of virgins finding the track in a brand new car, and we're still in third place. So everything is going according to plan.
Not all mishaps end up with a visit to the pit garage. Dr. Johannes Kirchhoff is hit by another driver, but he can continue and keep battling for position in the A6 AM class. Leading in SPX, Leipert Motorsport.
At the moment we are in the SPX on first place with a gap about 2 laps. In the first time we had bad luck, so every time when it was scored 60, we pass the entry of the pit boxes, and the other cars can come in. But now after the 4 and 5 good 60, we had good luck, and the other one had bad luck, so that was the reason why we are now there.
Expect the unexpected is more or less the motto of any 24-hour race. From on board the number 88 car collection Audi, we see cars braking, followed by debris hitting the windscreen. The 2016 TCR Asia Series champion Chuk Wai Yan, better known as Andy Yan, was closing the gap to second position when his Honda Civic was engulfed in flames.
It's happened after 50 hours of this 24 hours for Dubai. Unfortunately, at the moment we don't know exactly what happened, but some flame under the car starting to burning, and the car is totally destroyed. Unfortunately, it's happened. Till this moment, our race is a good race. We stay some laps in the lead, but this is motorsport, and 24 hours can happen.
After the long code 60, the race has a new leader, the number 3 Abu Dhabi Racing Black Falcon team. But, as seems to be the norm with this event, soon after they hit the front, they're then hit with technical difficulties.
We fought our way all the way back to finally in the lead, but shortly after we got a suspension failure. And really unfortunate with 9 hours to go. But yeah, we're here for so many years, and we always have success, and sometimes we have failures, and but we always look forward to come back again.
Only 8 hours of the 24 remain. Last time we looked at the standings, we checked the GT field. So now let's see the current standings for the touring car entries. The number 188 from AC Motorsport is the current TCE leader. After 16 hours of racing, the Belgian Audi team have only a lap over second position Autorama Motorsport. 9 laps further back in third, the number 125 Cupra from Bas Koeten. In Cup 1, 2 BMW 235i Racing Cup cars are entered, and they're 4 laps apart. Duvo Racing, with their number 840 leads, the number 802 of Fun M Motorsport are trying to catch up. 8 laps between the two cars still running in SP3. The Vortex V8 team, with their Vortex Scirocco number 301, have the 8 laps advantage. The number 378 Ginetta from CWS in second. The Hankook crew work throughout the event to supply teams with the tyres they need. And there's also a team of Hankook engineers present.
What we are doing here, the main job is to help the team to set the tyres. Setting the tyres means to adjust, to adapt the camber value and the tyre pressure in order to to get the maximum of the tires for the race.
The Hankook sponsored series stands out in the way that they support the teams.
We are a little bit different to other tire manufacturers because we want to have a close cooperation to the teams. So we give certain value status to the teams, and it's not a must, but we explain why it's so important to put the car on our product.
The engineers not only support and supply information to the teams, they also gather data.
The job is to collect the maximum data during the tests and the free practice for all the car. What we do, so we measure the temperatures, the tire temperatures. We ask the team for the camber value, for the tire pressure, and with this data, we analyze the tire structure, tire construction, and with this, all the data, we go to the team and get a recommendation in which direction they need to go.
It's important to gather information at every event. Each track and each weather situation is different.
We have different tarmac situations, so we have rough, we have a smooth tarmac, so we have different corners, we have different layouts, and at the end, also what you said, ambient conditions are also totally different. You cannot compare, for example, Portimao and Dubai. You have a stronger layout from the track, which is much more aggressive to our tires compared to Dubai.
Off track, the Vortex 301.
I made a mistake at the end of the track on the other side. I was a little bit tired. I made a mistake with my brake, but nothing very important.
The race has been going really well for the AC Motorsport team. In fairness, partly due to bad luck for other teams, but also because of their own perseverance.
Yeah, the strategy was really good, and we lose some place due to refueling problem. After that, with the code 60, we are lucky and we can keep straight and go fast.
The number 979 and the 989 have come in almost simultaneously.
But 24 hours Dubai is always a highlight for the drivers, for the team, even the mechanics. It was the one car, the rear suspension is damaged, and was the other car is just under investigation. It's probably the driving shift.
Currently second overall in the touring car race is Autorama Motorsport Volkswagen with their number 112.
Yes, we are also a little bit fascinating about this. We have fast cars, Ginetta Cars, but now we are P2 overall in TC, and we are very happy about this. And it's a good sign, good marketing for the TCR class.
And while we're talking about the Ginetta, that's one of the fastest in the touring car field. Sometimes it just gets a little too fast.
I have make a photo at turn 16. And I go back and I touch the wall. I put the full so quicker. My fault.
Colin White and his team don't know the meaning of giving up, unless of course they look it up in a dictionary. So after an hour, the car will be repaired and back in the race. At the same time, another car going back to their crew.
Bit of a bad day today. We were also third in class and looking very strong for podium finish. But unfortunately, we had a gearbox failure this morning. I think it was about 8 o'clock this morning, and finished our weekend.
Back to green flag racing, and the battles begin again. And then another incident. 3 cars involved.
We had an incident crashing out at the last turn before the back straight, and there was a green TCR losing oil. You could easily see it because the oil started to burn on his exhaust. And there was a white GT3 following him. I was a couple of meters behind, and the GT3 lost his car on that oil. It was going like in slow motion, and I see that, and I to avoid all this, I steer my car all the way to the inside of the corner. And still he comes onto me, and then I had unfortunately no possibility to avoid him, and then we crashed heavily.
I think it was just, it's one of those racing things. I saw the car in front of me burst into flames, which usually means an oil leak, just as I was catching him and cutting to the inside to pass him. So I had already started to turn to the inside of the turn to pass him, and when I hit the oil, I'm sure that's why it cut off the Audi. The car just shot to the inside, spun.
Go to the parabolica, without in the parabolica, but is the
LED panel is red, but I am, is the oil. I go outside in the track. This is the, open the door, that is the fire. I think so is the turbo is died.
As a result, the number 133 Hankook Cupra, as well as the number 33 car collection Audi, are out of the race. Still in the lead, the number 88 Audi.
I think that most of the GT3s are Audi, so that's one of the reasons that Audi is on top. And also I think Audi is one of the best cars on this tire, so yeah, Audi is doing a good job.
One of the other Audis in the field, the WRT number 7, running second overall.
Actually, the race was quite good since the beginning for us. There was no big mistake, no big contact, just one penalty. So we did what we could. We put the amateurs in the beginning of the race to try and have the pros for the end. So when the pros could really get into the race, then we started going back up in the ranking, and yeah, now we're trying to get to the final position, and well, that's the hard part of it.
Tom Boernen is leading in the touring car category, but from the moment he got into the car, he noticed it had an issue.
Yeah, this bolt from the wheel broke off. Already when I exited from the pits, and I was heating up the tires a little bit in front, and the right wheel was already clack, clack, clack every time when I turned in. But after, I don't know, 1 hour and a half in the stint, suddenly the wheel broke off, tire exploded, and the car got fired. So I couldn't see a thing in like 3 seconds. The entire car was filled with smoke. I couldn't see 1 centimeter, and 2 times I was about to exit the car because I thought I was gonna die. There was so much smoke, and I didn't know if there was fire. I thought, as long as I don't see fire or I don't feel the heat, I'm just gonna try to continue. So I opened the door and just put my head out, and so I could see a little bit, and I just followed the track until I saw the pit lane.
It looked like the end of the race for the number 188 Audi of AC Motorsport, but it isn't. Taking over the TCR lead, the number 112 from Autorama, Geert Houthoofd, has come to a standstill just before the end of the 20th hour of the race.
We have a gas error as a fault on the computer. Dus my battery level is very low, and we think the alternator is broken.
The team have no fears for their position just yet, as we take a look at the other standings with 4 hours of racing still to complete. In the GT race standings, A6 AM cars are 7th and 9th. Everyone else A6 Pro cars, including the current race leader, still the number 88 Audi R8 from Car Collection Motorsport. 2 laps down in second, the number 7 of MS7 by WRT. Bohemia Energy number 11 Ferrari, 4 laps away from putting the prancing horse on the top step of the podium. In the touring car race, Team Autorama with their 112 Volkswagen lead. AC Motorsport number 188, the Audi, 2 laps away in second. And the 125 from Bas Koeten Racing, third. All of the other touring car class leaders have ample gaps to the competitors, as long as they have a trouble-free last 4 hours. This is endurance.
The emotions you get, I can't compare it with anything else. Because you depend also on your teammates, and you have all this tension. And even like now, I mean, we were in the lead, I think, 5 times, and always had to come back from a little issue, or so you're always fighting, and there's always these mixed emotions. Yeah, it's one of the best sports.
Friendly atmosphere in this Creventic organised series is often mentioned as one of the reasons that teams and drivers enjoy competing here. You see that reflected when teams offer a helping hand if they see a competitor in need.
Yeah, our left rear corner was pretty heavily damaged. The guys did a beautiful job. We had a couple of the other teams jump in and help us, like they always do here. You know, everybody helps. And so we got out relatively quickly.
Yeah, it's always in this event, and not even this event, but also in every event of Creventic, it's a lot of friendship. Everyone is helping each other. When someone has a problem, you always help, because you're far away from home, and you're here for only one thing, and it's competing against each other, but being friends besides the track.
Is this common to other series too?
You know, a little bit in some series, but never as much as we have here. You know, it's fun that we've developed some friendships with some of the other teams, and yeah, everybody just helps out. It's pretty I'm not going to say unique, but you see a lot more of it here than you do in most series. So it's very nice.
When everyone comes here to try and win, why would you go out of your way to help the opposition?
For us, it's also a bit of the fun. And yeah, when you help each other, maybe you can, next race, we can win because we helped another team. So it's always in your benefit at the end.
For the most part, most of us are just doing it because we love racing. We want to be on the track. We want to be competing with each other. And so we want to have a good race. We want to have competitors.
We had a problem with the steering column from the Audi RS3 with LMS, and Kari Pekka Laaksonen tried to change the position of the steering column, and then the lever of the lock, it broke. And then afterwards we went to the Sorg brothers. They had an Audi RS3 with the same components in the car. And we could take it from their car, so that's really helpful. It's a small part, but it's really helpful to get to the finish together.
You know, whenever you can help them, and they can help you afterwards. So, you know, it's free, but it also helps you. So it's both win at the end of the day.
The number 24 SPX entry is a new Porsche for the team, and they are happy with the performance of this car on its first outing.
The engine is fantastic, although it's not as quick as could have been, but I think that the new one will be even better. In a corner, it's fantastic. The grip is phenomenal.
However, during his stint, we saw Jean-Pierre stopped off the track.
Yes, when I was overtaking a car, he cut the corner, and I wanted to avoid him, and we touched each other, and I spun.
The number 24 back racing again under its own power, but the number 969 Porsche of MSG HRT Motorsport does need the assistance of the tow truck.
My driving sharp has broken, so I didn't have more power, and yeah, that costs a lot of laps for us, and at the end it's disappointing, of course, but yeah, we learned very much about that, and yeah, it will become better next time.
Remember the number 188 engulfed in smoke and fire in the pit lane? Well, now it's back on track. A great effort by the team. The number 991 Porsche from NKPP Racing was running second, but they lose it in turn 4, as seen by Harry Hildis in the pit garage. The front end of the car has taken a big hit. His teammate driver Guy Spessum is safely out of the car, and as he inspects the damage, he can see it's not going to be repaired here today. It's a devastating end to such a good first race for the team in the 991 Gen 2 Cup car. Christian Engelhardt is steering the 63 Grasser Lamborghini off the racing line. In the following pit stop, a driver change, tyre change and fuel, and the car will continue to battle in 4th position.
The car is a little bit damaged on the rear, but still we keep pushing, and car feels really good. The guys are doing a very good job here. The crew is doing very good pit stops, so we still fight for the 3rd position.
Still more cars on the track than there are in the pit garages, so long as you don't count these, of course. The car currently leading the TCR class and overall leader in the touring car race is the number 112 of Autorama Motorsport by Wolf Power Racing.
Yeah, you have to be very consistent. You don't have to be the fastest driver. You have to be a good team with 4 or 5 drivers who are all in a good range of times.
The SP3 class leader, the number 301 Vortex, spins and nearly gets collected by the leader of the A6 AM class, the 25 of HTP Motorsport. This is a race that has seen a lot of class leaders hit trouble.
Maybe it was not so good to be at the lead, because you saw it so many times when you're at the lead, you had the bad luck. I don't know why. Yeah, it was just this race, I think.
Even in the final moments of the race, drivers are still being caught out. The number 989, the number 633, and the former leader of the GT4 class, the QSR number 454.
What a disaster it was, actually. They were leading very good, and in the last round they had really bad luck. Thankfully, they were still on the podium on the 3rd place. But yeah, I think he preferred to be on top of the podium.
At the end of the 24 hours, it's the number 88 from Car Collection Motorsport that takes the checkered flag first. That's full GT Championship points for their 2019 Audi R8 LMS. In the touring cars, the Volkswagen Golf TCR number 112 of Autorama Motorsports collects the championship points for the Touring Car Endurance Series. All teams are proud of their drivers, but surely nothing beats the pride of a father for his son.
I'm overwhelmed with emotions. It's there was so much going on in that car, and knowing that Rick was driving as well. I had a lot of dust in my eyes. I know that Rick was driving as well. I was. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Crazy! Crazy. It's crazy. No words. No more words. Sorry.
Let's look at the GT race with car collection number 88 taking the top step with a lap in hand over the number 7 MS7 by WRT, the number 11 Ferrari 488 of Bohemia Energy Racing in third. The touring car race overall podium shows Autorama Motorsport kept their consistency and their number 112 Volkswagen Golf finished with a 4-lap gap over Baz Kooten Racing's Cupra. They had 3 laps of a lead over the number 101 of Red Camel Jordan.nl. All classes are awarded points. A6 Pro goes to the Car Collection Motorsport number 88 team. The number 25 from HTP Motorsport takes home the A6 AM Championship points. In SPX, Lippert Motorsport with their number 710 takes the top step. It was an impressive 10-lap victory in the Porsche 991 class for the number 950 of Dual Racing. MRS BMW number 429 takes the class win in GT4. The TCR class winner, the Autorama number 112 Volkswagen. In SP3, the Vortex V8 number 301. In A3, GR Motorsport with their number 603. And finally in Cup 1, the Fun M Motorsport number 802 BMW wins by a margin of 3 laps. This 14th edition of the 24 Hours of Dubai had everything and was impossible to predict. And this is only the first round of the season. The Championship of the Continents returns in July at Portimao, Portugal, before heading on to Spain and the USA. And the European Championship kicks off in March in Mugello, Italy. Be there as a spectator, or better still, as a competitor. All the information is at www.24hseries.com.